Hello everybody, welcome to the Decks of the Weekend. I have returned from a weekend in Rome where I played a Paupergeddon. It was a very large, the largest Pauper tournament ever in the world. It was 406 players playing Pauper. That's crazy. And I was one of them. I competed up to the very last round because I was in contention for the top 8. I lost the last round, finished 6-1, so didn't quite make it, but it was a great experience. I'm going to later in the Deck of the Week and talk about my deck, Blue White Coggates, but I wanted to remember that Paper Magic, it's great, that tournaments with only €20 entry fee are possible, and that Pauper is an amazing format. Let's start with Modern though. We have in front of me Mono Green. This deck won the challenge on Saturday in the finals. Another Tron player with Prison Tron. I have already played this deck for a video, so it will show up. It will show up in a few days on my channel. But it is definitely a deck of the past. Mono Green Tron. Everybody thinks that with Modern Horizons 2, nothing was added to this deck, but yet this deck goes over the top of a lot of what other people are doing right now. For example, 4-color Omnath are on the rise once again, as everybody expected. This deck has a great matchup against that. Blue-White Control is on the rise. This deck has a great matchup against. And even Blue-Red Murktide. I do say it's a good matchup because we play in Blue-Red Murktide, Ragavan and Blood Moon, but still, if you don't go turn 1 Ragavan, this deck has the tools to easily overcome what Blue-Red Murktide has to offer, and even a Blood Moon isn't the end of the world because you have Oblivion Stone, you have just Arcast things. Mono Green Tron doesn't lose to Blood Moon. This Blacklist plays Karn, which is now the stock version. I remember I was suggesting people to play without Carnage Creator to have access to real sideboard. I don't think I've missed any cyber card, to be honest, and Carnage Creator is just a cheap threat, must counter threat. Yeah, maybe it's not great against the Lightning Bolt and Only Heat deck, but is very good against the other ones. So I feel like, everybody talks about banning Karn in Modern in Pioneer, so it must be a very good Magic card. We don't have access to Mycos and Gladys, but still, having access to Sundering Titan and Trinisphere, as well as cheap answers like Tormod's Crypt, Pithing Needle, or Chalice of Doom against Cascade, it's really good. Mono Green Tron is an excellent choice if you still have the cards. Have the deck. Don't be afraid of Boseiju, Wrenn, and 6 Recursion. It's definitely a thing that you can beat. And yeah, just turn 3 Tron and go. One of the things I love to do with this deck is not to mulligan too much. But, obviously you can approach the Tron life as much as you want, because at the end of the day, it is a pretty easy deck to play once you understand that your sequencing is definitely not a deck that is prohibitive to enter. Maybe something like, Blue-Red Murktide or Amulet Titan, decks like those, you need like reps and things like this, whereas you can just pick up Tron if you haven't played Modern in a year and still be like easily capable of winning the event. So yeah, Mono Green Tron wins again. Let's hop into Legacy. We had a showcase in Legacy that is a very important tournament of this format. We you don't often have important tournaments in Legacy, but this weekend on Magic Online there was a qualifier with it was a 9-round event, so over 200 and the X people playing it, and Lens won first place. A lot of Reanimator in the top 8, I believe 3, and still Lens got the job done. Endurance really turning maybe even that matchup, even though Lens historically very bad against combo and very good against Delver, which is of course the other big deal in Legacy going on right now. Now for those of you who have never seen this deck plays 34 lands. You have the combo with Thespian Stage plus Dark Depths to make a 20/20. You can turbo it out with Mox Diamond, Exploration, and fetch it easily with Crop Rotation. You're also playing Urza Saga, not only because you can recur it with Life from the Loam, or you have a little combo with Thespian Stage, which is you copy Urza Saga with Thespian Stage when it's on the second chapter, and the Thespian Stage doesn't die. So it will keep on making construct. It's a very cool combo. So the original Saga dies, but Thespian Stage, the copy the Saga doesn't die because it's not actually a thing that dies with counters on it. It's weird, but I think that's how it works. I hope I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But yeah, so Urza Saga, you have Shadow Sphere, great with construct to gain life against Delver. Pithy Needle to name Wasteland. Even though you play Wasteland, this deck definitely suffers Wasteland, but you can also name, you know, anything. It's Pithy Needle. And Expedition Map to keep on chaining the Urza Saga. So you can go Urza Saga, make 2 construct, fetch up another Saga, make 2 construct, and that's how you grind them. You have also Grove the Burn Willows plus Punishing Fire, that's a combo, and you have Left from the Loam to, you know, keep on going. But yeah, this deck definitely capable of winning every fair matchup. You have a lot of Cyber for the unfair matchup. You even have the big Chandras, which is uncounterable against the fair matchup. You can set this in against the control deck for Collar, Jeskai, which didn't really do well because, well, I guess it's better to be cheap and proactive and have a very solid playing in a 9-run tournament rather than just playing control deck. But yeah, Land's definitely a deck that rewards play skill. Very difficult to play well because it's usually very long. You can lock them out with, where is it? Tabernacle Ponderville. On Magical Line, this card is cheap because Reserve List isn't a thing here, as well as Collectible isn't a thing here. So Tabernacle is very cheap, but it's super expensive in paper, this card. I believe that the English version of this card is actually more expensive than Mox's. So you can buy a unlimited Mox and it costs less than an English copy of Tabernacle. I don't think many cards in Magic do that. I think it's only Tabernacle. But anyway, so very expensive in paper, but online, you know, you have your system to dodge the expensiveness of cardboards. Speaking of expensiveness of cardboard, let's talk about some Pauper, because Pauper, it's the format where Yoko Dex does not. It's not very expensive, I'll tell you. Actually, should I show you my Magical Line list or my deck pick? I think I'm gonna show you my deck pick. There it is. This is the deck that I brought yesterday, Blue-White Coggates. This is the deck that I've been playing in Pauper for a long time at this point, over a month. I've been playing my local league, you know, every Thursday I go play Pauper, and I played this deck, and you know what? I always went undefeated in my local league, and at this tournament I went 6-1, losing against Goblins combo and the last round against Cool Dota, where I kept 2 questionable hands and didn't get there, unfortunately. Sometimes, you know, those cantrip decks, you keep a hand with 2 cantrips, you don't get there, it's okay, you take those and that's fine. What does this deck do? You gain card advantage via Squadron Hawk, via Modern Age that discards flashback cards like Prismatic Strands, like Deep Analysis, and Sacred Cat, since you can flash them back. And then you have Basilisk Gate. This is a card from Baldur's Gate that is at colorless, comes to play untapped, and pay 2 mana tap. You pump a creature equal to a number of gates. And look how many gates we play here. 11. I guess 15 if you count them as well. A flex slot is Coalition Honor Guard. This is a 4 mana 2/4 that it's basically a spell skite. If your opponent wants to target your ox or your cat, he's forced to target the Coalition Honor Guard. So if they want to use Basilisk Gate on their own creature in the mirror match, they're forced to target your Coalition Honor Guard. So that's mostly the reason why I played this over the what's it called? The 2/3 protection from every color that I used to be playing. But yeah, Pauper format where I don't know how much does this deck cost, but I don't want to say too much. I guess maybe Prismatic Strands is a little bit expensive and Dust to Dust, but outside of that, it's a very cheap format. You can enter. I even decided not to play any fancy art, just the basic version of Counterspell, the basic version of everything. I really like this deck. It's very skill intensive. It's very, you have to gain every bit of advantage via Brainstorm, via Modern Age. You have to time your top lands accordingly, your untapped lands accordingly, because you don't have that many untapped lands, so that balance is always hard. I'm very light on sweepers. I only play 1 Suffocating Fumes, 0 Arms of Adar, and this deck also, I failed to mention, that won the tournament. There were 3 Coggates in the top 8. The top 8 was 3 Coggates, 2 Mono Red Cool Dotha, 2 Boar Synthesizer, 1 Goblins combo, the one that beats me. I don't think the decklists are out yet, but if they will, I'm sure to retweet them on Twitter. I think this deck is very good. I believe that the Boar Synthesizer also at the gate, so there possibility of having 5 decks with the Basilisk Gate in the top 8. Blue-Black Terror just did terribly, I think. Like, no copies around, even Affinity. I haven't seen that many Affinity or Blue-Black Terror in the high tables. I have played against 2 Blue-Black Terror and 1 Affinity and always 1-2-0. Good deck. No, I guess I lost 1 game against Blue-Black, but yeah. This is a great deck. I suggest you to play this deck. I suggest you to play Pauper because it's fun and it's cheap. Thank you all for watching. If you come to here every Monday, you know the best decks of the weekend. This is my one-time platform to only talk about YouTube, not through the stream. I want to remember that if you are enjoying my content, you can like, leave a comment, subscribe with the notifications on so you get the video every time. Also want to remind you that next week, so next Monday, I'm going to leave for Sofia, that's in Bulgaria. It's for the regional championship. It's going to be a whole week of testing. I'll try to make as much content as I can for my YouTube channel despite not being home, so it's gonna be hard. I hope you stick with me, and I will see you every day on the channel. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy.